Hello friends, welcome to Let Love Rise. This is the part 2 video on the new moon, but more importantly, I feel like I want to talk about Venus retrograde that is happening here on July 22nd and just what that means. I want to share stories. I want to talk to you about what has come up for me from being on the road. I've been on the road in one way, shape, or form or other for about the last month. And just feel so abundantly blessed by the places I got to experience, the people I got to share the experiences with, and the lessons. So this is going to be part 1 of a series on lessons from the road, and I will be both writing about it on Let Love Rise, but also vlogging about it here, because sometimes it's a necessary part to just listen, which is the first lesson that was taught to me on this last road trip that I took with my friend Kara, affectionately known as Scarlett O'Kara, and I was Ariel, because we set out. So she's my best friend from high school, and years later our lives have intersected again, and we are both embarking on a new journey as we experience what it means to be single, newly divorced, and in our 50s. I am actually saying that. Yes, I am 50 years old, and we had this desire to go out and just enjoy life. Just go and have a great time. See some places that we haven't been in a while, and have just a beautiful experience together. So we set out on the road, and right before I got sick, between coming home from this trip that I took with my students to France and Switzerland, and I got sick and it took my voice. So I was affectionately called Ariel on this trip, very appropriately. I got my Mountain Mermaid t-shirt on today, because that's what I am. I'm a mountain mermaid. But losing your voice is so impactful. And you can imagine, day 1, I have not been with this friend for years, just really to sit down and talk. And we had a 6-hour drive from Santa Cruz Mountains to Mount Shasta that day. And I couldn't talk. I was called to listen, which for me, it was important, of course, that we always listen. But for me, it was more than that. Like, I just felt like I couldn't authentically be myself. And I thought back to this story of Ariel, right? The Little Mermaid, and how she gives up her voice in exchange for legs to pursue who she believes is, the love of her life. And so she's willing to sacrifice give up this essential part of her being to woo this man with her body language and all of that. And what is so hard is just how much I wanted to express, what I wanted to say, how I wanted to either empathize or ask a question, or, oh my gosh, just sing out loud in the car. Good thing I'm a great lip syncer, because we did do a lot of that. She sang, I lip sync. But there was so much that I wanted to share, and I couldn't. And it really made me recognize the power of the voice. And that has been something for me as a part of my divorce journey. There is a huge part of my very first vision board that I created about creating retreats. This being a new dream of mine, a desire of mine, back in, I believe it was 2020, that I made this vision board, and it just says, your voice counts. It's really big on my board. And I really think I got that. I know that I gave my voice away during my marriage, during, just slowly but surely, just kind of in, and The other lesson, the big overarching lesson from this road trip has been on forgiveness, but forgiveness of self this time, forgiving myself for having given away my voice willingly, unconsciously perhaps, but until I was at this place where I didn't even know who I was, and I don't think that my ex knew who I was anymore, and that has led to where we are. So really taking a look at my own place in my divorce journey, in my life story, and the voice has just been the biggest, most impactful, tangible thing as I got to experience on this road trip Ariel for a couple of days, losing your voice and then refinding it. And we were in Ashland when I found my voice, and I remember that first day just saying, like, I have not felt like myself until this moment, this day. I just feel so much like myself. And then there will be more on Ashland and other parts of our trip later in this lessons from the road series, both here and again in written form on my my blog, Let Love Rise. So, but more than anything else today, as I come back from these travels, I really want to announce the official launch of Let Love Rise. As we know, or perhaps if you're new here, you do not know, in June, I left my teaching career as a high school French teacher. And as the school year starts up again, early August, well, actually in July for my old school, July 31st, August 1st is the full moon in Aquarius. And I thought that is the perfect day for me. Whereas I would typically be going back to my classroom, I would have been there the day before. It is the perfect time for me to launch Let Love Rise. So are you ready? I've got a 3-part series that I want to announce and invite you all into. And it begins on August 1st. With a 2-part, there's 2 sessions to it called Moon Power. And Moon Power is all about understanding your natal moon in your chart and what the moon's energies are telling you and how to harness the energy of the moon. I love the moon so much because the moon is always changing. Right now, we're experiencing the new moon. So you don't see it in the sky. It is as if it has disappeared, just like Venus will appear to have disappeared here in a couple of days because they are really in the night sky or in the heavens. They're right there with the sun. So we don't see them. And so, but then the moon, it just grows and grows and grows, and it increases to this fullness, August 1st, full moon in Aquarius, Let Love Rise launch. And then there's a release, and it's just ever changing, ever flowing. The moon represents our earthly bodies. I'm pointing to the water here. It is the flow within us. It is our emotions. It is our physical state. And so we'll be tapping into that energy. So the workshop is going to be from 11 to 1 p.m. So 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on August 1st. And it is an interactive class in session workshop where, depending on where the moon falls in your astrological chart, you will be meeting up with other people who also have the moon. For example, I have my moon is in Taurus in the 2nd house. So you will learn, what does that mean if your moon is in Taurus or if your moon is in Cancer? And what does it mean that, the moon rules over the sign of Cancer? If you happen to have the moon in Cancer, how that is amplified. And right now we are in a new moon in Cancer. That is, so it's really amplified time of transition, transformation, creation. Astrologically, if you want to tap into the energies of the universe, I highly recommend Molly McCord. She has a phenomenal video out right now on the astrological energies that are at present this week, which is July 19th to 25th. But she always just breaks it down in a really approachable way. And then Kai Pacha of New Paradigm Astrology does this amazing, amazing video on Venus retrograde and the divine feminine. And I absolutely am going to recommend you watch that video if you're interested in the second event that I am hosting as a part of my Let Love Rise launch, which will be on August 11th, which is a Friday, August 11th, and that is going to be from 4 to 7 p.m. It's another hands-on workshop on your inner divine. So it's called Awaken Your Inner Divine. And it is featuring two of my most favorite people, Kelly McCarthy, who is a licensed transformational life coach working outside of Seattle, Washington, and then Paris Barnett, who is a artisan, creator, spiritual being, a Leo. I believe her moon might be in Leo. Just a really creative, beautiful being who's going to help us create a keepsake, a piece of jewelry. I believe we're creating a bracelet that we will have to remember the lessons, the teachings, the takeaways from the workshop. So that will be on August 11th from 4 to 7 p.m. And there is information up on Let Love Rise already about that. I forgot to mention part 2 of the August 1st. So I do have the Moon Power interactive class and workshop that morning, but that evening I am going to host a moon circle, and it is potentially going to be right here. I want it down by the river. If I would, well, let me flip this around so you can see the beautiful space from which I sit. There's a nice opening up there so we could see the beautiful night sky, but a moon circle. It's been a while since I have done an in-person moon circle, so information will be up very shortly on the location of that, and that will be from 7:30 to 9:30 on Tuesday, August 1st for the full moon in Aquarius. So that is part 1, Moon Power. Part 2, Awaken Your Inner Divine, and yes, we'll be talking a lot about our inner divine spirit and what is blocking us, what fear we have sitting over us that is not allowing our authentic self to shine. And with this Venus retrograde, Kai Pacha tells a beautiful mythological story, and it's not Venus or Aphrodite, and I'm forgetting which culture he references, but essentially a lot of ancient cultures have similar mythologies around understanding, conceptualizing what they saw in the night sky. And so it's this 40-day period that we're entering into with this Venus retrograde that begins on July 22nd, where from, if you think back years before the scientific understanding of how the universe works, this bright star, that was seen in the sky, which we know now is a planet, but it would disappear for 40 days and then it would come back. It would disappear under the western horizon and come back on the eastern horizon. And so the mythology behind that is the mythology of a woman being transformed, an inner divine. Like there is this letting go, there is a releasing, there is a shedding of the youthful energies into wisdom, warrior power. So that's it in a nutshell. I don't want to repeat what I feel like he did so well. So I just want to point you in the direction of New Paradigm Astrology. I will try to put a link to it in this video for you to, but it's also on my website for the Awaken Your Inner Divine. It's there, and it just says, recommended watching prior to signing up for Awaken. So please check that out. I just think the coolest thing about astrology for me is Ariel, listening to what is present in our universe collectively, and then bringing it down, and how does that resonate with my story and what I'm going through. And this is a huge time of release for everybody right now. And you can do it consciously or unconsciously. And if you do it unconsciously, things are going to be stripped from you. Things are going to be taken and removed. And it can be very hard. And trust me, I know. I know what that feels like. That is the experience I had with my divorce in 2020 and everything that was removed from my life, like so tragically. And it just caught me so off guard. And it's taken me years to get my feet, my legs back under me and find my voice. So I just say this, like the reason I am so enthralled by astrology is that it just lets you know what is present and what is happening on a bigger universal scale, and allows you to align yourself with that. And what's not in alignment with your highest, I like to use the words most courageously authentic version of yourself, it will let go. And there can be a conscious releasing, which is what the full moon in Aquarius on August 1st is going to be about. Like what part of your story that you tell yourself is not serving you anymore? What narrative are you replaying that is preventing you from shining your most beautiful, authentic, individual, unique light? That's the essence. That's the essence of what I want to create with Let Love Rise. I just recently rewrote my mission statement to this. I help people free themselves from stories that no longer serve. There are many stories that I have told myself over the years that I have come to recognize as very futile. They are not helping me be the best version of myself. And there was a call to understanding where that came from, but also a call to release that. And that will be part of the Lessons from the Road in Mendocino. There was a big releasing that happened there, but it's breaking patterns. It's transforming, and it is releasing what is not serving you, and in a very conscientious way. So I invite you to join me in all of Moon Power and Awaken the Divine Within. And then finally, the third part of my launch party for Let Love Rise is going to be on August 16th. I believe it's a Tuesday. It might be a Wednesday. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I will be back at the Boise Salt Sanctuary on State Street and be leading a new moon in Leo guided meditation that will be in conjunction with the crystal singing bowls. Really beautiful space. It is the Salt Sanctuary is rooms filled with Himalayan sea salt. The healing energies of this space are hard for me to put into words. There is a link already on Eventbrite and also on Let Love Rise, or you can go to the Boise Salt Sanctuary to learn more about the new moon guided meditation on August 16th. So that will be the kickoff. Let me just look at my notes. Yep, that's going to be the kickoff for these for Let Love Rise. I'm really, really excited. And then I'm going to retreat a little bit. I am going to go up to Orcas Island to celebrate a magnificent human being who is also joining me in the 50 ride. And just hopefully, connect with some whales in Orcas Island and beautiful human beings and celebrate life. And from then I am going on an Alaskan cruise with Molly McCord, who I talk about all the time, who is the astrologer who I listen to. So that was my gift to myself. So the adventures continue. This is only the beginning. I said for the new moon video on that I filmed briefly in Coeur d'Alene, that the song that I choose is a Jason Mraz song. It's called Just Beginning, and I think it is still the perfect song. That whole album about living into your dream, your creative, letting your creative desires take form in whatever shape that looks like. So there will also be lots of music sprinkled into these lessons from the road. A couple concerts upcoming. I will be going to see Amos Lee here in Boise and the phenomenal Michael Franti. So that's also all coming up within this launch release time period, and then go away for a couple weeks. And then when I come back, I will hopefully have the news of the first retreat and the location for Moon Music Mindset Magic. The retreat form. I've taught the class before, but this I want to take out of Boise somewhere into the woods. Someplace beautiful. So more to come on that, more to come. But that's what I wanted to share with you for today, just my excitement over this launch, and I invite you to be a part of it. If you feel like there are stories inside of you that you want to rewrite, that you want to transform, if there are patterns that you want to break, if you want to step intentionally into the energy of the universe, join me for this. I would love to be your guide, your companion alongside you. Oh, and one last very exciting thing for me is that I am getting trained in the science of the cards, the order of the Magi, to really learn how to read the cards of destiny. So I'm getting trained starting in August with Robert Lee Camp. And cannot wait to share more with you about that. But for now, I think I have overwhelmed with information. So I thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of my journey. I am beyond excited to see where this goes. So wishing you a most blessed new moon period. And as we ramp up to the full moon on August 1st, may wherever your travels take you, may you be safe. May you pause and look around and give thanks to the abundance. Abundance is everywhere. The beauty. May you lean into what your body is telling you. If you're feeling the need to rest, please rest. Don't push yourself too hard. Our bodies are what carry us through this life, so let's give honor to them and listen. Okay, enough of my, as a dear friend of mine says, enough of my Midwestern goodbye. I will look forward to seeing you hopefully on August 1st for Moon Power. If not August 1st, how about August 11th for Awaken the Divine Within? If not August 11th, August 16th for the guided new moon in Leo meditation over at the Boise Salt Sanctuary, or all the above. Thank you for listening. Have a beautiful summer, safe travels, and the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.